George. Yeah, wonderful conversations we had today. I mean, I wish we had all day. I will echo the sentiment that we need more time next time. We need a 3-day weekend to try and get through all the stuff that we really plan to get through. I think lessons learned for also the organizers. Okay, real quick, I'll come up on stage here and call up the people who are going to participate in our startup panel. You know, we're going to talk about innovation and, you know, how you go from zero to hero. So I have a couple of people on my list here, but before we get to that, I just wanted to leave you guys a couple of quotes. Today was themed around emerging technologies, as well as, you know, we wanted to take the session about startups and put it today morning because we couldn't get through it yesterday. And so there's a lot of people here that I guess wanted to especially learn how you go from zero to funded and successful startup. And a couple of quotes I want to leave with you guys as we jump into the next session, right? They come from people who have been successful, household names, but these quotes are self-explanatory, and I want you to take them to heart if you want to really create the next big thing. The first thing I want to share is it's not about ideas, it's about making ideas happen, okay? Many of us technologists spend a lot of time thinking about the next great thing and not making it. If you don't try, you're never going to be successful. So get off the idea meal and actually create something. You can fail. You can fail as many times as you need to, but please do try. The next quote, your most unhappy customers are your greatest source of learning. That was Bill Gates, Microsoft co-founder, okay? If you don't have a problem that you're solving, do not create a solution, okay? The first thing you should ask yourself if you're creating a solution is, what problem am I solving? It doesn't have to be fancy. SendWave is not fancy. It's one page. Send money. It's a very successful application, okay? You can make a fancy app that no one will use because you're not solving a problem. Next thing is, don't worry about failure. You only have to be right once. The biggest example of this is venture capitalists. We have Geoffrey in the house here. They invest in 1,000 startups before one unicorn brings them back their money, okay? Okay, so think about that. You need to fail many times before you're successful. And that leads me to the next thing. Timing, perseverance, and 10 years of trying will eventually make you look like an overnight success. We all say, where did he come from? Guy akoze chintu. Nah, he failed many times. And we heard from Paul Chirunji yesterday. He didn't start with the Zofikash. He started with something else that failed, to the next thing that failed before Zofikash took off, okay? So please don't forget that there's no overnight success. It does not exist. And the last thing I want to share with you is always look for the fool in the deal. This is a big one. Always look for the fool in the deal. Because if you can't find the fool in the deal, the fool is you. Okay. This is for people who always think they're right. It's one of the biggest killers of innovators, okay? If you do not take advice, you are probably not going to be successful. If a customer looks you in the face and says, I don't think this is going to work, don't take it personal. That is feedback. You need negative feedback more than positive feedback. So take it and work it into your product planning and you will be successful. All right. Okay.
I love what the kids were doing here. Those are the kids we hire. Now we ask people, what project have you done? We are not just talking about, I have a resume. Everybody has a resume. We are also competing in a skill global market. So if you want a job, don't think because you have a degree you're going to get that job automatically. You are applying for that job with 50,000 other people. How can you stand out? Those people have degrees, you have degrees, they have backgrounds, you have background. How do we pick one resume that we are going to offer $150,000 and invest our time to train that person? The biggest gap now in all these things we're talking about is the skill gap. We are not prepared to enter or take advantage of all these opportunities in AI, in data analytics, in cloud computing. We are not prepared. But you're saying, David, we're graduating thousands of people. They're not prepared. I'm at the board of about 5 universities trying to work with deans to help the conversion process. When someone has a degree, how do they get in to get that job? So I got tired of sitting in boardrooms by myself. By myself means we're sitting there, we're doing some very high critical thing, and the only person that looks like me is myself. So what I decided to do is, I decided to do what other people are doing. The Indians, the Nigerians, all these guys, what do they have? They have created a process, and I have created the same process that helps people break the barrier of entry into modern data and all these skills that we're talking about. That's where the jobs are. If you want to know this, the hiring that happened last month, all the jobs, almost 40% of them were data jobs. So when you look at all the job markets they're releasing, that's where the jobs are. But no one, very few people like us have the skill set to walk in, talk to a hiring manager at IBM, talk to a hiring manager at Johnson & Johnson, Bank of America, all these big places, and be picked. So what we've done is, we started in 2020, during the pandemic, we created a synergy learning process. Synergy learning process takes anybody. Education is great. We work with people from community college, diplomas, polytechnic, master's degree, bachelor's degree. I have trained 5 PhDs. My students are here, will tell you. Because the people are asking me, why are you training? How come a doctor is in that class? I was doing the class to get a job. And I said, everything we do today, including writing research papers, you have to be able to analyze data.
Valuation. Kale, chiche tugamba nti, teknolojia wali yadduka nnyo ensi, abantu baffe bamusomye wano mu mambuka ga Amerika, ate n'abalala balina n'ensimbi eziyinza okusiga mu abo abalina ebirowoozo, abalala bennyini balina ebirowoozo ne tebamanyi ngeri ya kubijja mu mutwe kubissa mu nkola. Mujje mu Technology Forum ffe tujja kubakwanaganya. Tulina abasiga nsimbi ba venture capitalist, tulina abawandiisi by'ebiragiro bya computer bagamba nti computer programming, tulina abakugu mu finance, tulina abakugu mu policy. Olwaleero tugenda kubanga tukyaza omwami Muhammad Nsereko nga ne member of parliament wa Kampala, omwami muze mumulira emirundi mingi ng'ayogera ku bintu bya teknologiya, ng'agamba ayagala abantu bamanye teknologiya, banne baali nabo mu bukulembeze ng'ayagala betegereze bya teknologiya ate babiwe ekifo ekyokumwanjo agenda kubeerawo wano. N'aboogezi abalala bangi tubayita mujje mubeerewo.
Hello Diaspora, Salako Chikundu. My name as always is welcome to the UNAA Technology Forum, where innovation meets opportunity.